All right, morning everybody. Look at that sunrise, beautiful. We're back here at our first location, guys. This is the second day in a row we haven't had a catch here. Now, if I didn't have other locations to set and other places I knew where there was a colony of beaver, I'd probably leave this crossover set for sure, and probably the one in the culvert too. We wouldn't be pulling these traps. But just to save on time, not having to swing by this spot and check them every morning, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these traps this morning. That way we can just scratch this location off of our list for now. Move these traps to a location that we know there's a population of beaver in. Get those beaver caught out. And again, what I'm doing is I'm basically I'm hitting colonies of beaver as fast as I can, starting the season off, just to help customers and problem areas and get those beavers back under control. And then once I do that, after a few weeks of doing that, then I can come back to these places. If I see areas where there's predators, I want to set predator sets, or if I want to throw these crossovers back, set them back and pick up otter and other water animals that might be coming through the area, I would do that at a later time. All right, guys, hopefully y'all can see. But I was talking about learning the animals you want to trap. Look right here, just look at the top of that dam. Now this right here is a crossover we had set for beaver. But if we were going to target other animals on this dam, just by looking at the tracks on top of it, where would you possibly want to put another set here? So that's what I'm talking about, just learning the animal, looking at signs. If I were wanting, and not necessarily going to pick those animals up in these beaver sets, you probably have to make a couple of other different sets. All right, guys, we're down here. In yesterday's video, I talked about the farmers coming in and tearing out a big dam and pushing the beaver back down to where they started. And this is that dam that farmers pulled out. And I thought I'd show you guys. So just imagine this dam all the way to the top, and then look how deep it is behind it, which the GoPro doesn't do real good with depth perception. But if you guys will look on the other side of the ditch, you can see all of those bank holes. This right here is the main area. This is where the beavers were living. But I just thought it was neat. You guys can see they've got a feed pile started right here at the outside of this hole. So there's a feed pile that they had started up for their winter storage. And then walk right up here and they got another. Almost looks like they were in the process of building a hut right up here. So you can see right here, this tree's leaning out. You've got that big run. That right there was going to be their main house coming out of that ditch. And it looks like they started piling corn stalks and debris up here, and possibly even started putting a little bit of mud on it. So they were in the process of starting to build a hut right here at this location. But anyway, guys, you can just see that hole. There's at least 10 bank dens or 10 holes all down through here, and then go right up here, and there's a few more. So of course you don't see this stuff when it's underwater, but it's always a good idea. And we're not even seeing anything that's on this side on the ditch that we're walking on. But just kind of give you an idea when you show up at a new spot and you got a colony of beaver, this is what you're looking for underwater to set those runs. And you can tell, I mean, that main run right there is a good 1.5 foot, 2 foot deep. So you got to be careful when you're out here walking these ditches and waders. You step off in that, you're dropping down, 2 foot all of a sudden. Could be a dangerous situation. All right, guys, we're here at my carcass pile, and I got out and was going to set some footholds around here, and I've got several of the carcasses already drug pretty good ways down these field roads. We got one where we come in at probably 300 yards down here. There's a small beaver carcass that's been drug out of this ditch all the way down this road. I was gonna get down here and put some, as dry as this ditch is, I think those predators are still running the bottom of them quite a bit, especially with us doing this carcass here. So I was gonna put a foothold set down in the bottom of this ditch, a dirt hole or a flat set or something, just see when we got there. Then I was going to put a couple of foothold dirt hole sets up here, one on this corner and one on this corner. But I got my truck, and my milk crate with all my predator traps are still in that other truck, so I don't have them this morning. I have to remember to grab them when I get back to the house, throw them in this truck. And all right guys, so nothing down through these dams coming down through here, but we only picked one beaver up out of this ditch, and I'm gonna try my flag set again at these top crossovers down through here that we got set. We've got the 330 on the bottom, I've got the foothold on top. On all these footholds down through, I'm gonna take me a flag and attach them like I did where I caught that big beaver. Things have slowed down over here. We've about got a lot of the animals that were staying in this ditch out. So we're gonna give this flag set a try. It's something I've never seen before. Mainly I wanted to do it just so I could save me a few steps, not have to get out of the truck to be able to tell my trap was still in the water. But catching that big beaver in that one other days now got me curious as to maybe if that flag had something to do with catching that mature big beaver. So we're going to try this for a little while and see if we can pick up some more using these flags, see if there is something to it or not. All right guys, I can tell my cable's still not taut. Looks like we might have a rat down here in this one. It's tripped. I'm gonna go ahead and reach right down here, grab this foothold. Maybe. Can't find it there. That water's cold this morning. I'm just going to come back here to my anchor. And guys, we've got the top of this dam tore up where I've been walking across it. Those animals. Oh, we got us a muskrat up here tonight too on that foothold. Pretty good sized muskrat there. I'm pretty sure we got one right down there too. I'm gonna get this trap set back here. Then I'm gonna take this flag and just run it through that bottom spring on that long spring. Don't want to catch both of them because we don't want to tie that spring closed. But I'm just gonna.
I think that might be an otter back here.
An otter?
It's like a big tail.
Alright, well you grab me them setters in that pad in that seat. Well, maybe my wife thinks we might have an otter right here, so. Those 330 setters, they're just laying in that seat there. Guys, we're going to try the same thing with this long spring trap. So I'm just gonna set it right here in this crossing. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna set that flag. I need to make it a little bit tighter there. Notice my snare fell down here, guys. Our 330 still set on this run. I'm just gonna pull this snare back up, get it sitting in this run. Pull a little bit of that grass up. All right, let's get down here to this 330 and see what we might have in it. Actually, I'm not sure. Oh, yep, we do have an otter here, guys. I was seeing something right here, looked like a muskrat tail.
I could see its fallen tail.
But my wife could see the trap on out here. Oh. Oh. There we go, guys. That's a good size otter right there too. All right, guys, so that's a big male otter there. Alright guys, we just pulled up here and wife noticed these little sticks. I don't know if you guys have got them in your area, but they're we call them devil's walking sticks. I don't know the scientific name for them, but I actually did a video back in the summer where my honeybees were on one of these guys and were getting the pollen off of it. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, go back and search for that video. There's a bigger one here, but they're just all over this area. Pretty neat. Just thought I'd show you guys again. Never seen them, just thorns all the way spiraled all the way up and down this tree. But anyway, guys, we made it over here to I showed this property when I was scouting. We found it. It's going to have a pretty good colony of beaver in it. But we made it back over here to this ditch, and there's either, I want to say, about 4 dams down through here, the length of this ditch. We're going to try to get set. I think this is going to be the bottom dam right here, and I'm not seeing a I grabbed my traps, my 330 and my foothold that I normally set on those crossovers, and I'm not seeing a defined one on this dam, so I think this is going to be the lower dam. Probably what we're going to do, this is a big ditch. I don't see an easy way to get down there either, but I'll get up here and look at it a little bit closer. Yeah, you can tell those beaver are coming in every night putting new mud and wet leaves on top of this thing. They're building it up. Guys, I'm still not seeing a defined crossover. Walk up here, see if we might can see a narrow point we can place one of these traps. And guys, if you're not worried about trying to pick up all the beaver out of this ditch pretty quick, or the majority of them, then you can just come in here and put you a caster mound and a trap anywhere along the side, on the top side of this dam, and you're going to pick a beaver up. Now, I mentioned it before, and I want to try to get in here and catch all the beavers in this ditch. So I want to try to get in here without making the least amount of disturbance I can, not letting them hear. I'm just going to place my traps in blind sets in the trails that they're already using. I don't want to use any scent. I don't want to come in and cause a lot of disturbance. I just want to come in and set in places that they're already using, having my trap guarding that. So that being said, we're going to hop in a truck. We're going to go on up here to the next dam, and we're going to see if we can find a defined trail where they're coming across that next dam to come down here to work on this one. If we can find that, we'll get it set. All right, guys, I made it back up here to the truck, and you can see our pond levee right here, and the ditch is right here. So we want to pay attention in front of us, make sure we don't hit a wet spot. We don't want to rut up this property owner's land. But what I'm doing, I'm driving down through, and when I scouted the other day, there was a couple of really heavy traveled trails that were going between this ditch and to this pond levee. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drive down through here and see if we can't see one of those trails, and that's gonna put us back into the ditch. We can walk that trail back into the ditch and identify the area that those beaver are really using and working in, living in. That's all I'm doing right here. Right there is a good heavy trail there, but it right there's a good trail. That's the one of them I seen the other day. Doesn't really look like it. You would, first looking at it, you wouldn't think it was being used, guys. But upon closer look, get out and look, and I can see on top of these leaves are little mud specks. Well, here you can just see some of that white shiny clay mud out of this ditch that's coming off the animal as they use it. So even though, and as we get in here, I can tell some of the leaves are kind of matted down. So it's not just being really heavily used, but it is definitely being used, because I can see those mud splatters on top of those leaves. You can see here where they're climbing up this little bank. So so we're gonna get right down here in this area, just kind of look around. So right here, guys, is that main spot that those animals are coming up out of the water to our side of the ditch. Right here is going to be our next dam too. So I'm going to grab a foothold. I've got a drowning rod there in the vehicle, so I'm going to grab a foothold on a drowning rod, and we're just going to stick it, get it bedded right here in this little indention where those animals are crawling out. I may go ahead and do a dry land trap and get one of our footholds and bury it on up here on this trail. One thing that the property owner, when I talked to him, when I was out here scouting and I talked to him, he didn't like the beavers being in here chewing on the trees, but he had a bigger concern with otters coming out of the ditch going into his fish pond. He's just freshly stocked this fish pond, and he doesn't want the otter eating his fish out of it. So that's going to be one of the main things, trying to pick up some otter out of this ditch and helping him out there as we go. I'm gonna grab some traps real quick, guys, and start getting this set here. Coming back out, guys, it's really noticeable trail that they're using here. Goes right underneath my truck and right up to this pond bank. So I think what I'm gonna do is grab a couple of footholds, place one up here at the top of this levee. We'll put one right down here at the bottom. We may even put another one in that trail where that little step off is. It'd be a good spot to bed one, and see if we can't pick up some of these otters. All right, guys, we got us a long spring here with an earth anchor, and I'm not concerned, guys, with getting this thing buried like we do on the canine traps. All I want to do is place the pan of that trap about where the ground is here anyway, and I'll show you how we're going to cover it. We'll take our pogo earth anchor here, and we'll get it anchored right underneath that trap. Alright, guys, I got my chain all wrapped around here. Forgot to unwind that chain before I hooked that earth anchor up to it. All I gotta do real quick, no problem, we'll take it off the split ring. Let's get this thing untangled here. Guys, I'm gonna get a That'll work. We'll leave it like that. And put this barrel swivel back in this split ring here. Guys, when you're catching these otters on dry land, you want a lot of swivels on your trap. This one probably doesn't have enough. But we're going to make it work. We've got a swivel right here at the trap. Then I've got this box swivel with J hooks right here at the end of the chain onto our split ring. And then just in case our split ring gets tangled up, we've got another barrel swivel before we go down into the ground on our anchor. Just going to give that a good tug to get that pogo anchor, you know, straightened up. And then we're going to get this trap set. And we're going to get it put right here in this trail. And guys, I mentioned before, these long springs, this is the first year I've been using long springs, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me, but it was just something that I wanted to get better at. I've used them for smaller animals, for coon, mink, things like that, but I've never used any on land like I'm doing here. So this is a first for me too. But the basics are the same, guys. All I want to do is create a bed here for it. Just gonna get it bedded in here best we can. Take some of this dirt and mud that we pulled out of there, and we're just gonna bed it around those jaws so that, and these springs, so that that trap is solid there. So there it is, guys. It's not moving. I'm hitting the sides of it. It's not moving. Now, all we want to do is stand this grass back up. Guys, we're going to take a few of these leaves, and we're just going to cover that trap with some grass, leaves, whatever we got here. We don't want just a whole bunch because that'll clog those jaws up. But all we're going to do, guys, is just stand that grass back up so it identifies that trail right there. We'll take some of this dirt that we kicked out of there and we'll spread it out to the sides. A little bit of this grass. If you want to camouflage a little better, just do however you want it camouflage. Camouflage it to where you're happy with it. But that's it, guys. That's all I'm going to do. That animal coming through here is used to using this trail. This is the trail that he's going to use every time he comes through here. So all we've done is come in this trail and we placed our trap in the ground in that trail so that where he's gonna place his foot. Well, that's it, guys. We'll take that little bit of mud maybe, put it right there. Just try it. Figure out what works for you. But that's it, guys. I'm gonna grab one more. I'm gonna bed it the very same way up here at the top of this trail, just in case we miss him here. Just betters our chances up there. Or if there's two of them, we can get one caught here and one caught up there. Alright, guys, I'm switching vehicles. I'm over a week into this thing and I'm still not organized. Organization is a key to getting out here and doing these things quick, and I'm still not. But anyway, right here's our long spring we just put in that trail. Guys, we're just gonna walk right up this trail. I don't have another. I've got another long spring that I could bed right here, but I was wanting to grab a snare just to show you guys a different set. But I don't have a snare in there either. But what I do have is one of my Beaver foothold traps, guys, and right here's where that trail drops off into this pond. Now I can't take this trap and set it. Let's notice something else right here, guys. We're probably going to pick up some muskrats while we're here. Right here looks like a muskrat hole going into this bank, and right here it looks like a muskrat hole going into this bank. So I'll look and see if I got any 110s, and if I do, we'll get those set while we're here. But I can't set this trap on dry land, but what I can do is set it right here in the edge of this pond. And if you guys will notice, as clear as this water is, you can see all those animals' foot tracks that are under the water on the bottom of this pond right here. So this right here is going to be one of the main runs they're using to go from that ditch to the pond. So anyway, I'm gonna just drive this earth anchor down in here. That's what we're going to use to anchor, and then I'm going to have me a trap here with an extension cable on it. All right, guys, so that trap is now hooked to our earth anchor. What we're going to do, guys, is get this cable over here out of our way, get our trap set. We're going to take and we're just going to bed that trap right here where they come down off of this run into the water. We want that trap there waiting for them. And guys, as clear as this water is, you may want to bury your cable if you want to. It's not something I'm too worried about. I just want it out of the way of where the animal's legs are going to be working. And that's it, guys. While we're down here, I'm going to step off in here and see if this isn't a muskrat run that goes up in there. It sure looks like it. Now all I'm going to do is take my foot, stick down in that run. And there's no hole there going up in the bank, guys, so that wasn't a muskrat den like we thought. Pull over here since we're close and check this one out. Hopefully you guys can see down in that water. Sure looks like a muskrat run where it's caved in there. I take my foot. Yep. So there's no tunnel, no cavity up behind it to set. But something I am noticing while I'm down here, guys, if you'll look up underneath this bank, there's almost a little cut bank that goes up behind it. With me wanting to catch mink, I'm wondering if that might be a good place to set a little mink trap somewhere down through here. I'm sure if there's mink in the area, they'll be visiting this pond. But anyway, guys, so there it took us maybe, if I wouldn't have been recording and talking, 5 minutes, and we got 2 sets right here coming into this pond. And guys, tomorrow I'll bring my wife. Did you trip it? All right, guys, so if my wife would have been an otter, we would have a catcher out here. She sat there and watched me put that trap in too. So it done what we wanted it to. Just we already got a wife and don't want to catch another one. So we're gonna get this reset right here, guys, and go again. Wives are like daughters, and kids, they're always fun to have on your trap line too. All right, guys, so we're just gonna kind of cut that little spot we need for our ear. Take some of this dirt, and we're just going to make sure we got that trap bedded in there good where it's not going to move. Just like that. And we're just going to take some leaves and some grass and just lightly kind of cover that in there. Take and stand up this grass again on the sides, knock down just a little bit. And that's it, guys. Now we're gonna get over here to this dam real quick and see if we can get that identify a good spot on that dam to get some traps set. Just right on the other side of this fence, you can see my truck parked up here. Right there is going to be that big run that we just set going into the pond. Chances are between this dam And up there where we first started is going to be the main area that they're living. So we want to kind of target that area. Right there, I can already see a crossover, guys. Got that board floating there, and then just behind that board is going to be our crossover. Right there. You can tell it's pretty well traveled. So we're gonna drop our foothold right there to put it at the top here in a second. I'm gonna climb right down here. We're gonna get this 330. We're gonna get this 330 set on the bottom of it. Just repetitive, guys. Find a set that you like, a routine and a method that you like, and once you get comfortable and confident with that, then you can work on starting to be quicker, getting those sets put in, moving along. And that's the point when you start picking up numbers, is whenever you start getting confidence. You figured out what works for you, and you can just start going, getting sets in. Set as many sets as you can in a day, and then you're gonna have a lot of catches. All right, guys, so I got my 330 down there at the bottom, and this ditch is going to be a little bit different setup scenario. I was having trouble getting it anchored, getting it set down in there where we wanted it, but we finally got that 330 up here. Up here is the same thing. It kind of drops off pretty quick. A lot of these leaves in here, I don't want to push those leaves down this run because of... All right, guys, battery went dead on the GoPro, but that upper foothold trap on that dam, it wasn't an idea to catch them live there. There's no really good anchor points to anchor to there. It's just easier for me to... I had to come up to the truck to get a battery anyway, guys. So I got this drowning rod. This drowning rod gonna work better in that situation than what the extension cables catching them live would be. So this is what's good about having multiple options, learning multiple ways to make a set, is having these, getting good at learning different sets. You know, I mentioned you find one that works for you, and use it and catch a bunch of fur, and that's great. I mean, that's the way that you run fast, and you do catch a bunch of fur. But when you're water trapping, you're always running across situations that makes it difficult to use that original set. So you've got to get creative, make something different, or have different tools in your toolbox to be able to make that an easier situation. So this drowning rod cable is going to work a lot better here at this spot. So we're just gonna get this drowning rod put in here. And guys, we're just gonna run that end down into the mud, and it's a really silty bottom, and then underneath that silt there's a lot of gravel and stuff here. Guys, we're gonna take this in, and we're just gonna anchor it up here, go all the way down with it. There we go. Now all we got to do is set this trap and get it bedded right there where we want it. We're just going to take it. Now we've got this on a drowning rod, so I don't have to be too mindful about a front foot or a back foot catch. Actually, on a drowning rod, especially if you're in shallow water, you want a front foot catch, because that's going to keep their head down closer to the trap. If you get a back foot catch, there's a lot of times they're able to get their head up up and over the water level, and you'll get there. Then they can fight that trap, which can cause you a little more difficulties. All right, guys. So I got my stick placed in here so I can tell if that trap's gone or not. Got our 330 at the bottom of it here. Got our foothold at the top. We've got that heavy trail set going into the pond. And tomorrow I'll probably bring some more of those footholds with me, those smaller land footholds, and I'll get that trail set, at least one more set in it, and probably even back down here and put another set in it. So we'll have 4 sets on that trail going to that pond. And those are for those otter. All right, guys, we finally made a catch here. I can see the beaver swimming over there in that foothold trap. I'm hoping it's that same big beaver that we had to twist off that they got out of the trap that first morning. It looks like it's a pretty good size one. Yeah, it's gonna be a big beaver there, guys. He's got tangled up again, all these floating sticks and stuff. Yeah, that's a big beaver. That's probably gonna be our one we missed the first day. You can tell we got him by a back foot catch today. And he got tangled up in all this debris. That's what happened the first time, but we had a front foot catch. And him tangling up, he was able to twist out. I'm hoping it's the same one. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of him real quick. Well, guys, hopefully that's that same big beaver we missed the first day. He finally decided to come back out, see what got him. Let me get him pulled up here and see. Alright, guys, so that's a big beaver there, one of the adults. It's not going to be the one that we missed that first morning. So it's not going to be the one we caught by the front foot and it got loose. So we know there's at least one. There's going to be a big colony of beaver in here, guys. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to set this trap back in the morning. Leave it one more day. And I see what happens tonight. We've got, if them other ones might get out looking for this one, maybe we'll have it caught. Our 330 still down here at the bottom of this thing. But tomorrow, if there's no catches tomorrow, I'm definitely going to pull this thing, get it out of here. I need to bring, what I may do, bring another drowning rod with me, rig up a drowning rod here. All these sticks isn't making the extension cable. It's taking away the reason we're using the extension cable, so the animal can get out away from the traps out and get comfortable. Well, all these sticks is not allowing that to work. He's getting tangled up in all this, and it's basically defeating the purpose of using the extension cable. So what I may do tomorrow is bring another drowning rod with me, use a drowning rod here so that we can get them down, out, and done. And then we'll leave that 330 set. I don't have a drowning rod with me today, so we're gonna look at that good back foot catch. That's why the beaver wasn't going anywhere. So guys, we're gonna, since we don't have a drowning rod, we're gonna try to make this extension cable work one more night. And we're gonna set it out here. We're gonna set it out here a little bit deeper. Try to target that back foot instead of getting the front foot, and see if it might work, produce one more night for us. So all I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna come right off that crossover. We're gonna take some of these sticks. I'm gonna come off that crossover about the length of that body. So looking at that beaver laying there, where's his back feet gonna be when he places it down? just gonna take a couple of these sticks and we're just gonna put them in here just to define that crossover, to bring them in where we want them to be. And that'll work, guys. They're gonna be out looking for this big beaver tonight. So hopefully we'll have another one caught here tomorrow. There we go, guys. If you're looking for big animals, hard to beat today. Got us a big beaver there, a big otter, and actually a pretty good sized muskrat. Now time to get home and get them all skinned and put up. Guys, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.